Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hesitation Station podcast. I am Jay, along with my co-host Tank. How's it going, buddy?
Feeling overshadowed by your use of two cameras.
That's just because I gotta have double eyes. You know what I
It's
mean?
because you got a big ass head.
Thanks.
Gotta get it on screen.
Thanks. So guys, we got some people for you guys. We got new people. And so with new people comes a new episode, and with a new episode comes a new interview. So everybody, we would like to welcome on Adam and Allison from Y101 Morning Shows. Bam.
What's going on? Thank you so much for having us. This is, I think, my first time ever being interviewed for anything other than a job.
Yeah.
So this is nice. Way less pressure.
I think y'all guys are the ones that do the interviews. Like if y'all have on like people coming in or anything, have y'all ever had that?
Yeah, from time to time we have people come in. I find that I'm not that good at interviewing people. Like I have a hard time with it. It's a difficult thing for me. So I'm much looking forward to getting interviewed instead.
Being interviewed.
Yeah. Well, guys,
here's the problem with the expectations about that. We are the NASCAR podcast.
Yeah.
Where it's not your traditional interview. We'll have questions and everything and ask about your careers. And then 2 minutes later, we'll be talking about nachos.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, 100%. That's what we do. So guys, in case y'all guys are not local, Y101 is the local radio station in Jackson. These guys have been doing it, what, 2 years now?
It'll be 2 years here in Jackson. For me, I think I just celebrated 15 years of being like a paid employee in radio the other day. So it's been a little while that we've both been doing it, working together, starting back in 2018 in Florida. And then we moved here 2 years ago.
Okay. Nice. Y'all like it here?
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
Love the station. Love the company. It's my favorite place that I've ever worked in my life.
I tried to get there with you guys. I tried to work there, and I was going to be the soundboard engineer, and I guess I never got called. So
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I've still enjoyed listening to you guys. I want y'all guys to know, y'all guys threw me off for a loop because I went to Alabama. I moved to Alabama about a year and a half or so ago, right, Tank? Somewhere around there.
Yeah, about almost 2 years ago.
Yeah,
like
and I was listening to the previous people before you guys, and I come back and it's like Y101, Adam and Allison. I'm like, who?
That's the weird thing about kind of our business. Like a lot of times people, if shows, find a new job somewhere or if personalities move on from place to place, they don't all the time get a chance to say goodbye. And it's just like out of nowhere, new people.
Yeah. And I have to say, since I moved back, I thoroughly enjoy you guys. I've enjoyed a lot of the morning shows, and of course I never always call in, but I do chime in my head while I'm driving to work, and I'm like,
That's awesome. I mean, that's really all we could really ask for.
But we do love when people call in. Like it calls and texts, because then it's like a confirmation, like, oh yeah, people are listening. This isn't made up in our imaginations.
Right.
But not just talking to the wall.
I love hearing that you kind of respond in your head.
Yes.
That makes us feel like we're doing our jobs decently.
Yeah. No, y'all guys do a good job, because I think y'all were talking about a story where a girl said something to her coworkers, and I think the guy got flipped out because it was too much personal stuff.
That was a DM dilemma.
Dilemma, yeah.
I think a few months ago. Yeah, those are crazy. That's probably the thing that we do on the show that the most people want to reach out and offer advice to other listeners of ours who have reached out. So that's really, really cool. What were the specifics about that one, Allison? I forget.
There's been too many. There's been too much like gossip that has been shared on the DM dilemma that at some point they all kind of start to merge together.
Understand. It's kind of like this year, all of our days are merging together. We're like, wait, when's Christmas again?
Yes.
It's unbelievable that it's December 7th. Like how are there only 23 days left of the year or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll make a more realistic beginning of the year, like, don't drink eggnog or something.
Have you ever done dry January before? I'm a big believer.
What is dry January?
You just don't drink in January. Like, I hit it hard February to December 31st, and then I take January off. It's kind of my thing.
So like alcohol. Like,
yeah.
I thought you meant like water. Like, stop drinking water. I
get to the point
like, we're not drinking
death.
anything.
Yeah.
I get to the point of death, and then it's February, and I can drink water again. No, dry January. I saw it it's like an online trendy type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get our hydration from grapes.
Grapes. Smush them all one at a time.
Oh, that's funny.
So you guys, this is the thing I think when Allison, you were saying you like when people call and kind of get that confirmation. The problem with me is I'm like, man, I don't want to call in again because I just chimed in on the last thing and I don't want to bother them. What do y'all got to say for people that have that issue like me?
We love it. I think there are radio shows that do have a perception that if, the same person were to call in or text in, if they're reading the same names, that's going to read to everyone else as like, oh, they don't have any listeners. It's only, 3 people. But we've had the discussion about it of like, it really does kind of solidify that like we're friends and we want everyone else to feel like they're part of the friendship. So why is it a problem if Jerry calls in every single hour and says something hilarious, or if Jesse calls in every single day, or Felicia? Like, we love that because it really solidifies the community that we're trying to build.
Right. And
Absolutely.
we've kind of found that, like Jerry Allison just mentioned, he was one of our earliest, like, regular everyday. He's going to call, he's going to say something 99% of the time. It's going to be hilarious. And he's like the best caller that I've ever had in my radio career. I love Jerry. But it, like, the audience also starts to get to know him a little bit too, which I have found really cool. Like, if we put Jerry on the air with us, bring him on, we'll get texts like, yes, I love Jerry. Just yesterday, somebody was texting us about how much they loved whenever Jerry called. So it's like they start to have, fans. Like, it's cool whenever the listeners have fans of them because they're listeners to the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tank, do you have anything? Because I feel like you're being overshadowed by all 3 of us talking.
No. She said Felicia. The first thing I thought of was, bye, Felicia.
No, Felicia's one of our favorites too. She calls all the time and she's hilarious.
But she does appreciate a great bye, Felicia.
Yes.
So
Fair enough. So Felicia, if you're watching this or hearing this, bye. Adam, I really want to say this, and I do not mean this in the best way, but you remind me a lot of me because you say the things that I never thought you would say on radio.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that.
No.
I kid you not, man. You did the thing with Allison of what is it, Spotify rap that y'all did a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And you did something. You played an intro, and I was thinking of that, and I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't even thought it. Like,
no, I mean, I tried my best. Here's the intro. I don't know. Can you hear that?
Try it one more time.
Let me see. Yeah, I've got it right there. I've got a big button.
You got Tank like
every time. Every time he has a drum set, that's the first thing. He's like, "Hey guys, guess what I can play?" And then he plays that, and I'm just like,
"Yeah,
it's the only place you can hear it in Mississippi anymore." So I hear.
Yeah. So you think.
Through the grapevine as we hydrate. That's the first thing we understand.
Yeah. I was eavesdropping on some old ladies at a coffee shop, and they were complaining about it.
They were talking about the bread not being moist, and the only thing they hear is that intro.
That's funny.
Oh no, man, we are really on that line of PG-13.
Hey,
I told you, left turns, man, left turns.
I figured it wouldn't be that hard for us because it's kind of what we do every day,
Right.
from 6 to 10. We there's a line and we know where it is and we don't cross it. But no,
the goal is definitely to get to the line. Like that is
Right.
what's going to make it
You
interesting.
play jump rope with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the hope is that we have kind of over the last 2 years built up, I don't want to say reputation. I don't know if 2 years is long enough to really have a reputation, but to be known as we're just trying to have fun. We're just trying to put a couple smiles on a couple people's faces whenever they go to their job in the morning. Yeah. We're not really trying. Like, I would hate if anybody turned our show on and I said something that made them so mad it ruined their day. Like, that would never be the goal. It's always from a place of, good spirited, good natured fun.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I think Tank does too, because that's pretty much what we do. We go on this podcast and we want you to, you've had a bad day. You want to listen to Jay and Tank and who they got on and be like, if I make someone smile, or if we make someone smile, then we've done our job.
Right. So that's absolutely how we approach the show every single day. So hopefully, we really haven't gotten many complaints about anything that we've done on the air. I think we've been, edgy enough to be entertaining, but not to be offensive.
Well, and I think a beauty of the place that we work now and why we're so happy is because they filter. Like, I don't think we've gotten many complaints, but I do know that there have been a couple that they've really filtered from us because they're like, we don't want you thinking about one person who made one comment when that's not how everyone else is going to feel. And that's not how every radio workplace is. Some places, like, as soon as you get a complaint, they're like, I want you to come into my office and listen to this voicemail. You're like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
You did bad and you should feel bad.
And I would genuinely apologize to anybody who was offended because, again, that wasn't my intent. That wasn't always the case. Whenever I was like just getting started, like people would call and I was like, I didn't really have a concept of like, just, be positive and feel good or anything. It was like, say whatever the hell you want to say. And people would call and complain and I would scream at them. It was ridiculous and immature and it may be funny at times too, but I feel as though may have matured or something. Maybe aged 10 years. I don't know.
I mean, I think, like I said, guys, I'm a fan. So there's going to be that. And I listen to you guys every morning. So y'all guys do something right.
Thank you.
I think y'all do. Especially coming back from Alabama, not knowing who y'all were, and then going from listening to you guys very little to listening to y'all every morning. Y'all build a reputation. I think 2 years is good enough to have that reputation.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have y'all ever had anybody like the big boss lady or boss man come in and be like, Adam, Allison, we need to talk?
Honestly, not here.
Good.
It's happened before. I know before Allison and I started working together, like I would get in trouble all the time for stuff. Like one time I got reamed. For me and the program director, this was in Ohio. Somebody had overflowed the toilet the previous day. And I went on the air. Me and my boss, the program director, were talking together on the air, joking about how I got doo-doo water on my jeans because somebody had overflowed the toilet. Her and I were having this conversation. We're laughing. It's a fun time. Everybody's laughing. The owner of the company texted me while we were on the air and said, when you wrap up this bit, in quotes, I want to see all of you. And he screamed at us for 45 minutes. Like, oh my God. Like, I missed 45 minutes of my show because I was getting screamed at. There was just nothing on the radio station. He was that mad. He felt that disrespected for me talking about somebody overflowing the toilet. And the only thing I could conclude was it was actually him who overflowed the toilet. And that's why he was offended, because I wasn't talking poorly about his company or his building or anything. I was talking poorly about whoever overflowed the crapper.
Yeah, Tank has destroyed some toilets, and I just blame him on it. So I get it.
I mean, it's truthful banter. You know?
Nothing wrong with destroying the toilet or two. Just don't overflow it, or tell somebody if you overflow
or
it.
at least be able to laugh about it.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing.
Let me ask you guys this. Everybody knows you guys as the morning radio host of Y101. Let's hear about you guys. Let's hear about Adam and Allison. Do y'all like hiking? Do you like, well, I don't like hiking, but anyway, do you like hiking? Do you like camping? Whatever.
Allison, you're probably going to have way more fun hobbies to talk. You go first.
Well, I mean, I would say like I've got my dog here, Sealy. That's a huge, massive part of my life and who I am. Love animals and dogs. Mm-hmm. I don't hate a hike, but I'm not the person who's going to initiate the hike. Like if one of my friends is like, hey, I really want to go walk for a while, let's go to a park, I'll be there. I'm going to have a good time, but I'm not going to necessarily initiate that. I do like going to the gym. I like getting my nails done. And then other than that, I love binge watching TV. Like that's my downtime. That's my hobby.
Yeah.
I will say that I like the outdoors, but not in the traditional sense of liking the outdoors. I like to be on my porch. I love, there's nothing that puts me in like a better headspace than just like relaxing on the porch, having a couple beers and chilling, listening to music or a podcast or working on the next day's show, doing show prep, stuff like that. But other than that, like I don't have a ton of hobbies. I like spending time with my family. But my family lives far away from here, so I see them a few times a year, but I always like look forward to that. And I feel like that's whenever I do my stuff. Whenever I'm not on vacation, I don't
my stuff.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing. I feel like this job also like calls for a certain type of person that really doesn't have a life outside of this. Like anyone that I've met that does morning radio, especially because the hours are so weird where you're waking up at 3 a.m., your day ends by like 5 p.m. It's one of those things where you're kind of dedicated to the job. And so this is the hobby.
Yeah. I couldn't do
it's
that.
The military.
Yeah.
Yeah. No differences between those two things. Obviously kidding. Very sarcastic.
So what do y'all guys, how do y'all guys see yourself? Do you guys see yourself maybe 3 more years, 5 more years doing this? Because I mean, you're 15 years, Adam. Allison, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I mean, you've been doing it a good while. So
yeah.
I mean, my goal, it's interesting because whenever I first started in radio, I was 17, I was an intern, then I was part-time, and pretty much from jump, I knew the radio career model was, you go get your full-time job somewhere, you work there for 2 to 3 years, you move up to a bigger city or maybe a bigger time slot, but you're constantly moving around from place to place to place. And whenever I got to Florida, so just a quick backstory. Sorry, I'm going to tell my whole life story. I edit this out if it sucks. Feel free. But no. So I was living in Ohio doing that afternoon show talking about the overflowing toilets, and I had I applied for a job in Panama City, Florida, which was a smaller town, but the position was morning show. And I would have the opportunity to have a co-host and really build the station kind of around our show was what they told us. But my boss who hired me there and hired you before I was officially there, I believe. Yeah. He told both of us, he was like, you guys are going to be here 2-3 years and out. And that was kind of the norm. That seemed totally normal. And then with the pandemic, I don't know if that's what changed how like career trajectories or how I've envisioned my career trajectory. But I don't even necessarily want to think about what's next until I feel like we can't do anything more here, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
I think that I'm really proud of our show, and I think we've done a lot of good things over the last 2 years. But I do think there's, other milestones that we have that are possible for us to hit one day that I would like to. before, I really even put that much thought into how much longer I want to do this here.
Yeah, and I would say I feel like, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, I feel like there's so much competition for this like type of career, where you have, content creators, like people doing what you're doing, podcasting. There's just so many different outlets that I feel like for me now, the goals have way less to do with actual like career milestones and more to do with like the branding milestones of Adam and Allison and the show and like who we are. So however those opportunities come about, I still see so much room for opportunity here at Y101. So it's like, as long as that continues, that's what I want to be doing. But if there are opportunities to grow our brand like throughout other outlets, I want to explore that too. It's just kind of whatever ends up showcasing the brand the best.
No, I mean that's a good thing that you guys love what you do and you love where you work, because most people would kill to love where they work. Me personally, I love where I work. I don't have no qualms with it. I work at a pawn shop, but it's it's USA Pawn over here, and absolutely love working there. I have no qualms. It has the days just like any other retail store, but can't complain.
Yeah, and I mean, any job is going to have its days. And I mean, there are certainly days here where there's, different stresses that aren't always there. But at the end of the day, pretty much every Sunday evening, I am looking forward to 6 a.m. the next day whenever, we get to go in and do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, absolutely. Tank, you got anything? You just kind of sitting there, buddy.
I'm enjoying this conversation, sir.
All right. We tried to do, like, me and him tried to go back and forth, because we've had episodes where he is just full ascended and asked all questions. And I'm over here like, and then I've done that where he's just like, waiting on the next question.
It's tough, especially I have noticed that it is hard to interview with a co-host, because it's like, it all has to be one conversation,
right?
But it's sometimes hard to get everybody on the same page. It's hard to get two people on the same page to just do the show, and now try to get that third person and everybody on the same page. It is nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
it's fun though.
Yeah, it's fun. Luckily, me and Tank, we have a good chemistry, and people have told us this at cons. They're like, we like y'all's chemistry. But I've known this dude 14 years now.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So we kind of piggyback off each other, and it works out, and that's why we still do this. Almost two years later. So
that's awesome.
So I could be wrong on this for you guys, but are y'all guys a couple?
No.
Okay. No. So when I looked it up, it was like the duo couple. And I'm like, are they a couple? I was okay.
No,
that's what I thought.
That's a very common question, and we do know each other very, very well. Like I said, we met back in 2017, started doing a morning show together at the very beginning of 2018. So we have a long friendship, a long coworker relationship, but that's it, just good friends.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, because I feel like whenever we first started working together in Panama City in 2018, like, I think because we had such a natural chemistry, and like we were both brand new to this very touristy city. So it was kind of like that was the only person I had to lean on, and vice versa. And we were getting to know each other. Like, every caller we were getting was like, you guys should date. Like, why aren't you dating? And it's so interesting, because now that I feel like we have solidified the friendship when we came to Mississippi, there is a lot less of that.
Yes.
We don't hear as many people saying like, oh yeah, you guys should date. It's more like,
you guys, two are right where you need to be.
Yeah.
This is great.
You're just like a bickering couple, almost, like it's to the point where it's at, if we were together, it'd be at like bitter divorce.
My first job in radio was an internship on a morning show with two people, Nancy and Newman, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I owe like my entire career to them. They like let a little 17-year-old kid come in and sit on their show for his senior year of high school. It was crazy. But one of the funniest things I remember Newman saying was something about how his relationship with his wife and his work wife, which was Nancy, are exactly the same. Tons of bickering, no sex. So that line stuck with me, Newman.
Here you guys go. Just where you don't feel out of the place. Hey, y'all guys should be a couple.
Hey, thank you. I was worrying we were losing our edge. I appreciate it.
There's zero chemistry left between us.
Now, y'all guys yourself have a like a small podcast, right?
We basically just take the full version of our show from 6 to 10, put it all together. We take the music out and commercials and everything and put it up. And that's not like a revenue stream for us or anything. That's just an opportunity to get people who maybe hear us for 5 minutes on their way to work, but hear something and it's like, oh, I could hear some more of that. And then they seek it out on the podcast, because what I feel like, maybe you guys have noticed this too, as far as like the audience, it is so much easier whenever they know you well. They like know your personality well. Yeah. Like I could say something on Monday on the show that somebody would find hilarious or really funny or whatever. 2 years ago, I could have said it the exact same way. And because they didn't know like who I am, wouldn't get it all, would be completely over their heads, or they might think, I suck as a radio host because I said something so dumb. So maybe that was a very long answer to a simple question, but yes, we do have a podcast, and the Adam and Allison podcast.
No, it's okay. It's okay that you do long answers, because we like long answers, because that means the timer over there goes a little bit longer. Yeah, where Tank's at.
Above my shiny head.
Oh, I see it.
It's very shiny. I'm blinded.
I need to wax it some more.
I can't. You are not going to pay me enough to wax my head, only because that hurts.
Yo, hold on. I'm talking about a different wax, man. I'm talking about the one to make it shine. Not what you're talking about.
Never mind.
Yeah, like
that's what's going to happen to you after we hit 1,500 followers on Facebook.
Oh, yes. No, that's not going to happen.
I had my armpits waxed as a bit
one
time.
No.
It was miserable.
It was great for me, but
what?
It was hilarious to watch.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the pain?
I would say, I don't know. I haven't been through many painful things, so I don't have a great scale, but it was up there. It was like a 7.
It's 7, solid 7. Yeah,
I give it a solid 7.
Most of our listeners will know this, but I'm going to tell you guys. So do you know why I'm bald besides shaving, obviously?
No.
I don't know.
Just a wild
age.
guess. It could be the most wildest guess. Just one little guess.
Could it be stress?
Super glue.
Super glue.
Yeah,
super glue.
Wait, so this isn't the normal look?
He
used to have hair.
I used to have long hair, and then short hair, and then no hair.
So super glue.
Right. So it was like 11:30 at night. I went to go fix my door right over there. And obviously it's not fixed. Ta-da. I got the little gate. Tried to fix the door, and the hinges right there, that one exactly, was not going together. The nails weren't working. Nothing was working. So I said, all right, forget it. I'll go get super glue and just glue it together. So I went to go get super glue. The super glue's not coming out. So I'm like, okay, I'm tired. It's 11:30 at night. So I flipped the super glue and I cut the glue on the back end, and it squirts all over my face. My eye is completely super glued shut. It's all up in my hair. And finally, thankfully, it comes out of my eye, and the hair is not coming out the hair. So I finally get halfway through shaving it, and I call Tank, and he's like, dude, there were ways to get it out. I'm like, well, we're here now.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I thought I would get made fun of at work. I thought I would be like, oh, dude, you have no hair. But apparently everybody at work was like, I like you like that. and you look good. The beard and no hair. And then I got home and my wife liked it. I was like, well, that's enough for me. So I just kept it.
That's awesome. That's that I could actually benefit from something similar like that happening to me, because I am the worst at getting my hair cut. Like, it's just, I don't know, every 6 weeks is too often for me. And I have to have an event to, make myself go get my hair cut. Like if I'm going to visit my family or something, or I don't know, picture day at work, whatever.
Picture day at work. All right, class.
But if not, I'll go like 4 months without getting my hair cut. So if I could have something like that happen to me to, prove to myself,
make it happen.
Well, but then I would need all the compliments letting me know to like, hey, just shave that thing every day.
Right.
You wouldn't, though. Like, on what planet?
That's
can't
actually
go get your haircut when someone else is doing all the work. And
so
you're
why
like,
am I going to do?
Oh, magic!
Right.
I'll do all the work now. Like
right. That's a decent point.
Yeah, that was a little delusional.
Well, then I'm just going to wear hats.
Yeah, I mean, every time majority of the time, I can speak English, guys. Don't worry. Majority of the time, sometimes, I see you with a hat, like on clips on Facebook and stuff. So, I mean.
Yeah, that's typically whenever I haven't gotten my hair cut in about 6 months. So there was a string of about 3 months where I knew I needed a haircut in April, and it didn't happen until June. Hat 5 days a week.
5 days a week. I can't do a hat, man. The only reason I can't do a hat is because it gets on my nerves after like 30 minutes to an hour.
Oh, really? See, I don't feel sometimes after my 6 months without getting a haircut, I felt naked if I didn't have a hat on.
Allison, you need to rock a hat. We all need to be hat buddies.
So wait, is that why you're wearing a hat now? You need a haircut?
No, because it's the weekend and I didn't feel like putting product
making it nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see, Adam. You don't want to look nice for the hesitation station. Okay, man. Okay.
You get what? So it wasn't a big enough event, I guess, to make me go get a haircut. No, actually, legitimately, I did just get a haircut like 3 weeks ago.
Which means it's probably time for a haircut. But
for another one. You said 3 weeks ago, and you need to go get another one.
I could make it another 3 months for sure.
I need one. It's getting wild.
It's so wild.
The layers are crazy.
The layers. He's got layers under the beard, believe it or not.
Nice.
Allison.
Yes.
By the way,
how often do you get your hair cut?
No, that's not what I guess it was.
Every 8 weeks on the dot. I never miss.
Like I get mine like every 6 months, and my barber hates me for it. Like, I went over there.
So really does.
I go over to Jimmy's over in Flowwood. Awesome people, awesome place, good atmosphere. And I know the barber. And I went over there with my mom, and he's like, "Yo, Jay, what's up, man?" And I high-fived him, gave a couple of them a hug, everything, miss seeing them. And then I talked to him, and I looked at one of the other barbers. I'm like, "Hey, Gage, how's the baby?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, they're crawling and everything, walking." I'm like, what do you mean walking? Didn't you just have your kid? He's like, "Dude, that was 2 years ago." I was like, "No way. It's been that long since I came in here." And Ty's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh my God."
That is so funny. I do feel bad whenever I do get my hair cut, because I always tell them, because it'll be like unbelievably long, like, God, take as much off as you want. Like if you take too much off, I won't be upset. And I think they can tell that I'm trying to say to them, like, the more you take off, the less I'm going to have to come here. So
the less money I'll be spending here.
Less money you will have from me.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, going back to what I was gonna say before Tank rudely interrupted me. No, I'm just kidding. Allison, the guy that won this, congratulations. I'm very proud of you, but Allison, I'm mad at you.
What?
Yeah, because y'all guys did the thing where it was the mouth, where there's the frigoli. It must be Italian.
Yes.
Yes.
Fragile.
I knew it, and I knew what movie it was from, and I was third in place, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna win an Xbox." because what I was going to do with the Xbox was give it away in our next charity event. And I was like, yes, we can finally have a good raffle and can finally have a good big prize. And then the dude's like, yeah, I know it. I'm like, oh no. I was so close.
Oh, that stinks. That's such a heartbreaker.
Well, I do have maybe good news, maybe bad news, but that game would not have been for the Xbox. Right. The Xbox is part of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Okay.
Which is
I know it was the Stained. It was the Stained tickets. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but it could make it better. I don't know. Hopefully it does.
Well, either way it goes, I'm proud of the guy that won, and it was very nice. And I was just like, I had my hopes up because I was like, I know this. I know what movie that's from.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, they just saved the guy $250.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are y'all guys trying to make me feel better or worse?
Both.
Yeah, we
it's Christmas. It's the spirit of giving.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Didn't say it had to be a good thing.
Where's my giving then, Tank?
On the shelf behind you.
Wow. I want a refund.
I don't have the receipt anymore.
We like I told you guys at the beginning, and a lot of our listeners know this, that we now do charity money raising and stuff like that for NAMI, which is mental health awareness. So we go for you guys to know, we go to a lot of cons and we have like little raffles and stuff. So some people come up, it can be like $5 per question. We ask like little trivia questions, and me and Tank decided we asked the most simplest things. Like you will walk away with something from our table, and all the proceeds go back to charity for that. You know, with Tank and I struggling with mental health, we were like, you know what, let's do something that we can agree on. And we ended up going on this. Because it used to be the Children's Hospital, which, by the way, these guys have successfully adopted every single angel on Operation Angel Tree. Isn't that right?
That is right. That is right. But I mean, major thanks to everyone who came out. Like, we could not have done it without everyone. We were just there to try to help as much as we could.
Yeah. So thanks for the Jackson metro area for being able to do that, because without that, I mean, like, because that's what I do almost every year. I didn't get out there this year. I got out there last year, or not last year. Was it last year that we went?
To what?
Operation Angel Tree. It was one of the years, guys. I promise you. I promise you.
Absolutely.
Like, as the podcast, or as me and you?
We didn't have the podcast at the time. We went out there. And,
I've never been.
Oh, well, I guess it was just me then. Oh, well.
I don't even know what y'all are talking about.
All you do is get an angel off the tree. You get an angel off the tree and you adopt them.
When did this start?
This has been years ago.
Yeah, like 20 years, I think, for the station. I don't know the exact numbers, but a
lot of years.
Where have I been? But that's such a fun thing that we get to do every year. And it is so cool to see the community like come together and getting to meet people who say that they, drive to work with us in the morning and wanted to come out. Like it's the best.
Yeah. Speaking of people coming out, have y'all guys like just been going out and ever get recognized as Adam and Allison in the morning? Or is that?
It happens from time. I certainly won't say like I can't leave my house. No, but like I went to the store and people were just hounding me. I mean, it happens occasionally.
Yeah.
It happens a lot more whenever there's like a Y101 adjacent thing happening somewhere. That like if I'm standing under a Y101 tent, they're like, oh, well, you're one of you can't be Allison, so you're either Johnny O or Jay or Adam. So, but it happens from time to time.
Yeah, I would say for me, it happens most if I'm wearing my Y101 shirt around. Then people are like, wait, I recognize your voice. So
I have to ask a back in the back scenes questions.
Okay.
The guy that does
behind the
scenes, that's the
back scenes.
Back scenes.
That sounds really dirty. And sounds Very interesting.
This is what I have to deal with.
Oh my God. I love it. That was perfect.
Thank you.
Oh man, I done lost. Okay, I lost my question for a minute.
Behind the scenes.
Back scenes. Let's go.
Back scenes. The guy that does is it an automated person that does Adam and Allison in the morning on Y101?
You mean like these things?
Adam and Allison in
That-
the morning.
Y101.
That's a real guy. He is, believe it or not, that's a guy named Scott Matthews. He's on a bunch of different radio stations around the country. Alice, he was the voice of Allison's hometown CHR top 40 station.
Yeah, KRBE.
In Houston, Texas. Scott Matthews is from my hometown, actually. And I mean, he worked at the same group of radio stations that I started at. We never worked there together because he had stopped doing radio as a full-time job and just does voiceover full-time for years. So whenever we first got here, he wasn't our voice guy. And then the company decided to, make some changes with the station. And he was formerly Y101's voice guy. Then he wasn't. And now he's back. I think he is one of the best voiceover talents in the industry working right now. I love the way he sounds.
I've heard him for many years, and I've always wondered, is that like pre-recorded? Is that a real guy? And I've always wanted to know that.
Yeah, it's real, and it really makes a difference. Like with AI and everything happening now, there are companies who claim to be able to, replicate that big voice with just being able to enter a script in and have it come back. But it isn't the same. You don't get the same feeling. You can't. AI doesn't have a personality, so you can't give its voice a personality, I guess.
So I'd assume Adam and Allison, y'all guys I'd assume that you guys are against any kind of AI stuff, or what's your opinion on it?
I'm not against AI. However, I think there's a use for it, and then there's something that is very uncomfortable for it. And I think, any of us, if we can use it to make our lives better, to make more money, to be better at our jobs, better in our lives, use it. Like, it's a tool. It's going to happen whether we like it or not, just because that's the way technology moves. But I think, I've been seeing a lot of people who are like, I want to see messiness, so I know it's not AI. Like, we don't want influencers to be AI. And it's like, wait, so literally a company invented a fake person that now I like just so I'd buy their product. Like, that's where it doesn't feel good. Yeah. And I think, I think this industry and a lot of other industries have to be really careful with it, because I know I would lose trust in a brand if they started using an AI voice trying to get me to buy into their product, whether that's just a radio station or an actual, like beauty product, or, buy these pans, whatever it is.
Yeah, 100% agree.
I mean, we are learning new ways to use AI to make our show better every single day. Practically, we're coming up with new tips and tricks. But there are, I was talking about the voiceover. There are AI radio DJs out there. Like, that's a possibility. And thankfully, our company hasn't. We have no AI radio voices. I think there's only a handful of them that are like truly on the air. But to me, that just so cheapens what radio is. And we're not going to be better than just a Spotify playlist if that's all we have to offer. Like, I really feel like the human beings behind that are in the radio station doing shows every day are what makes local radio better than just a Apple Music playlist or something like that. That's where the difference is. Like, Spotify has AI DJs. They've had those for years, and they sound dumb.
They do. And I think bringing up Spotify is actually a really interesting point, because like a lot of people were disappointed with their Spotify Wrapped this year because there wasn't as much personal touch to it.
Yeah.
And what I learned was apparently after last year's Wrapped, Spotify like laid off that team and was like, AI could do this. So it's all AI that did the raps this year. That's why there's those weird made up genres that it's like in February, you were really into catwalk, toothy hip hop. It's like, what does that even mean?
Write that down. We got something to do at 7:30 on Monday.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you guys because my wife was the same exact way. A couple days ago, we did the Spotify rap. We listened to hers, and she was like, her favorite band is Citizen Soldier. They are all like a mental health band kind of thing. They all sing about mental health, and she loves them. Like she will go to their concert, and she has very high anxiety when it comes to people, but she will go to their concert. And they wasn't even on number one. Like apparently DJ X was like, yeah, this is who you listen to.
Yep.
And she's like, I listened to them for maybe like 5 hours, if most.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's so interesting though about how they fired the team and now it sucks.
Yeah. It's just there isn't that personal touch, and that's the thing that people have noticed. It's like, wait, what about all those like top genres and like little fun facts? Like, where's that piece? Well, that was people looking through the data and making commentary on it, and I think that really goes to what we do as well. Like once you add AI, you eliminate personality.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
1,000%. We've Tank and I have seen people get kicked out of cons because they were putting AI art and trying to sell it, and we're like, no, because we know artists personally, and they have put in hours into drawings, and I'm like, they should be kicked out. I'm sorry, not sorry.
That's very interesting, though.
Tank, do you have anything?
It's a 50-50 thing, in my opinion. Like, AI is cool as a tool.
Yeah.
And you can use it, in your personal life. If you're trying to write a story and can't figure out the way a sentence should work, you put it into AI, and at some point it'll show you a better structure for the sentence. But, like the guy at the con, getting kicked out because he tried to pass off AI art as his own and make money. That's where I have an issue with it.
Yeah.
If you want to use it to make the world around you better, it's great. But the minute you use it to try to, like you were saying earlier, having the AI voice try to sell you something, just to get their sales up. If you use it along those lines, then no, I'm good.
I'm excited to see if there's going to be any sort of legislation. Maybe there already has been, and I haven't seen what it is yet. But I know there are rules and regulations whenever it comes to if we're going to endorse a product. We can't endorse something that we can't say we use something that we don't actually use. We can't pretend to like something. Right. So I feel like there is going to have to be some kind of a disclaimer to be like, all right, this is AI content. These aren't real people.
Yeah.
They have, these are actors portraying the thing?
Same type of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get Opinxix? I don't know how you say it.
Hold up, what?
It was Opinxix or something like that. It was a medicine. I don't know. And then it was like, hey, these are actors, and it said it clear as day, but it was
not what
small.
I thought you said.
What did you think I said?
Ghetto pimps. I was like,
oh my God.
What? that all I heard was "oh pimp," and then you started going off on a tangent. And I was like, "What?"
I'm sorry. I'm talking about medicine, guys. Medicine.
Are you talking about Ozempic?
That's it.
Hey,
yeah, that's it. We can cut that out. Thanks. I'm done.
Good Lord.
But yeah. Adam, I'm going to tell you what I told you a couple of days ago when I called. But
you already told him.
AI art. That ain't it, Chief.
Yeah.
So, Adam and Allison, guys, we want to tell you thank you one more time for coming on. We would love you guys to tell us your socials. That way people know where to find you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You could just search Adam and Allison on Facebook. You'll find us there. Adam, the letter N, Allison on Instagram. And if you search Adam and Allison podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, we'll be there. You could also download the Y101 app to your phone. You could stream the show live 6 to 10 in the morning, weekdays, or listen to the podcast on the Y101 app. So yeah, a lot of different ways to connect, but we would love for you to connect. We'd love to meet you and maybe check out our show sometime.
Absolutely. Now guys, next week, me and Tank will be going on Y101 for an interview. So stay tuned.
That's the good part of, not you guys not having I'm assuming you don't have a boss for the podcast. Like it's you.
I mean, he's technically my boss.
Okay. But it's you guys.
It's just me and him.
Yeah, it's just me. Yeah, it's just us. We don't have. Oh, sorry.
If we had a boss, we'd have been fired already.
But thank you guys so much for having us. This was seriously so much fun. And that was really, really cool of you to reach out. And I'm so happy this worked out.
Me too.
And you guys are more than welcome to come on anytime y'all want.
Awesome.
To promote anything. Y'all guys do a lot of good for the community. We would love to have y'all again if y'all ever want to come on.
Awesome. Thank you guys very, very much.
And make sure you go subscribe to them. Go check them out. Adam and Allison. You can find that anywhere. Make sure you subscribe to us because it's covered up by Adam because he just doesn't like us. I don't know. I'm just kidding. No, make sure you subscribe to us. We are the Hesitation Station podcast on literally everything. We have our link tree that will be in the promos for these guys as well. So make sure you follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that good jazz. So, until next time, guys, thank you again so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
And, we'll see you guys next episode.
Sounds good.
Great.
Peace out.
Boy.